Okay, we'll open the September 1st, 2016 Town Board meeting. Mary Lou?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll now take public comments on agenda items. Looks like there are none. Okay, reports of supervisor. I have an email from Matt Kitkachin from Halmar regarding the 55 closure. I had emailed him and he sent me an email back, and I'd just like to read it. Patty, at the original meeting held at your town hall, we outlined a schedule that ran from March 28th until August 1st, a project duration of approximately 4 months. We did not implement the detour until the 23rd of May. While this allowed for less disruption of the school traffic during the spring of 2016, the project will now not be complete until the fall of 2016, slightly impacting the school traffic during that time. Due to cure times and availability of specialty items at certain times during the project, we only had a minor, if any, presence on the job. Our remaining work schedule has us working continuously on the project until the end of September, early October. Currently, we are planning to work this Saturday to prepare for the final bridge deck placement at the end of next week. Traffic for the school on East Knoxon Road will be handled by the same measures utilized in the spring until the project is complete. If you have any other questions, please let us know. So I just wanted to give everybody an update on the people. Really, they got out with the clothes on their backs. Their cat was saved. Mary Jean took care of the cat and took it to the vet's office. There still is another cat out there somewhere that we're looking for. He's black. I'd like to thank John Welch. He was one of the first responders on the scene with the tank truck. Dave was also there. Carlos Mina was there. Ryan Cortine was there. There were engines and tankers from Beekman and Unionvale and Pauling and Dover and just everywhere.
Dover,
LaGrange, everywhere.
All around.
From all around, and everyone was right on. Tom Kinsley was the first person on the scene. He lives in Beekman. He's a Beekman fireman. He lives right down the road, so he got there rather quickly. John, of course, had to go to the firehouse and get a truck before he came, but he was there, and these people wanted me to thank everyone from the heart. It's so devastating to see something like that, and all the care she could, and brought it to the vet, and hopefully it'll be all right. The other one's lost. The other thing is, I came to work that following Monday, and I got a letter in the mail from the Community Action Partnership, which last year we donated money. The town of Unionvale donated money to these people, and when I called them, they were willing to give the burn victims clothing, first month's rent, furniture. They are coming up with many things to help these people out, and I'm so glad we gave them money, because they are actually giving back more than we ever gave them in this town.
Right in our town.
The other thing is, it is budget season, and I've been spending a lot of time with Ryan and department heads, and haven't had too much time to spend on other things. And there is a special seminar. It's for the Volunteer Fire Police Association of Dutchess County On Article 35, justifiable use of force, it's on Saturday, October 1st, 2016, Beekman Firehouse, 316 Beekman Poquag Road, Poquag, New York. Time, on-site registration, 8 a.m., courses 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pre-registration is $20 on or before 9/24. So if there's anything else, John, do you have anything?
I just want to mention that in lieu of your other duties with the budget, you were working with me and the park staff. We're looking into getting more grant money to add to our handicap accessibility, extend it out into the parking area. We want to upgrade the parking lot. They had some ideas about adding handicap spaces as well as making the parking lot safer and more accessible for everybody, especially seniors and handicapped people. So we'll be pursuing that and try to get some grant money to help our efforts.
Karina? I do have one other thing. I'm going to interrupt. I'm sorry. Jessica sent me an email up today, and the Unionville Parks and Recreation Department is sponsoring a gift card drive to benefit the family of Juanita Kettlewell and Larry Carr, whose house was recently destroyed by a fire last weekend at 2720 Pleasant Ridge Road in Unionville. Gift cards are a way to ensure the family can get what they need when they need it. We urge the residents of Unionville to set up and contribute so the Kettlewell and Carr family can rebuild, knowing they have the support of their community. She put this online today, and
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. I was speaking with Brian by the end of the month for everybody to view, and you know, actually from what I can see of NYMERS, it's an excellent organization to be a part of. I was speaking last Sunday with Jay Grasso from J&J Processes. They're grant writers. We cover a lot of stuff which I'll be happy to share. But one thing in particular, there is a grant for court security that we can apply for, which would actually give us the ability to record what goes on around the town hall for court security, similar to what we did down at the park. But we have to submit a resolution saying that we're seeking a JCAP grant. I'll have that all ready for the next meeting, but that has to be done at the next meeting. The paperwork, the grant, well, everything has to be put in October. I spoke with Pat Strong from NYSERDA about solar. We're meeting with them again next week about taking a look at the buildings around here and see what we can do, whether or not it's feasible. And I'll be meeting with a couple of people between now and hopefully the next meeting. Next Sunday, 9/11 services up at Station 1. I think it's 4 o'clock, John?
I believe so, at Firefighters
At the
Park, across
Firefighters
from
Park.
Station 1.
Which will be will probably be forming up on the apron of the firehouse, because they have started working on that bridge finally.
Yeah.
So we'll have
It's now
another road
construction site.
tied up for the next winter. That's all I have.
Steve?
Yeah, I had sent you all an email that I had observed changes on those message boards. And I had received here a response to the letter that we wrote. I didn't realize that you all hadn't been CC'd on it, so I did, I just sent it out here at the beginning of the meeting. But basically, the response is that changing the messages on the board is about all they can do to help us. It is more clear now that they're supposed to take the detour route. I don't know how effective it's going to be at this point, you know, because people have already habits of going the other way. And that's about it. For whatever reason, they don't see that they can put a second message board on the eastbound side from Billings. They can't find a spot that's suitable. I can't say that I agree with that, but that's the state's response. And they also, you know, they made pretty clear there that they followed their standards in doing this. Just, it's unfortunate the way this is going, but it's the best we can do, and it hopefully be over soon.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably by November.
Before the first
Yeah, when the construction season.
Maybe before the first of the year.
Is there anything else?
Did you get my mail out of my mailbox?
Oh, have we gotten everything squared away that we need to with the INF Associates and the LED?
Ryan, oh God, that was a mess.
Yeah.
That was a mess because the application, we sent it in, we were passed, then the money wasn't right. They couldn't give us the grant for the amount of money we were asking for, so we had to switch everything around. So Ryan is actually in the process of working with
With the other Ryan?
with the other Ryan,
Okay.
getting this done.
Okay.
Anything else? No, okay. So I'd like to discuss the employee handbook for a minute here. Has anyone gone over any of the sections and decided on any kind of changes they would like to make? Or do you have anything ready to show the rest of us?
I didn't remember to bring my booklet with me tonight, but I do recall a section in there that discussed seasonal employees and said that they weren't entitled to overtime. I'm not sure that conforms with New York labor law, and I would like the attorney to look at that portion of it.
And I will call the county and see what they have to say about it, because they have a lot to say about
Right.
everything we do. All right, so that's that.
I'll email. There were a couple other notations that were minor that I just wanted to verify, you know, match current laws, and I'll email them out to everyone.
Okay.
I think he was already looking at our current employee handbook to see if there was anything in there that didn't seem
Right.
appropriate, but maybe it's good to point that specifically out to him.
Okay, and now we'll do the resolutions. Resolution adopting the social media cell phone policy. At the last 3 or 4 meetings, I think we've discussed social media and cell phone policies, and we kept tabling it and tabling it and tabling it. Ryan and I, at the last meeting, sat down that day and put John's social media policy, and Karina had wrote up a cell phone policy, and we took from each, and we put them all together, and we made one. And I gave copies to everybody at the last meeting. I would like to vote on that now, and just say that if we decide down the road we want to make some changes, we can absolutely make changes by resolution. But I think it's important right now to get some sort of a cell phone, social media policy in place.
Definitely.
Because we've never had one before.
Right.
So that's what this resolution is about. And do you have it, John?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Resolution adopting social media / cell phone policy. Whereas the town board of the town of Unionville desires to adopt a policy for the use of social media and cell phone by the town of Unionville employees and elected officials. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Unionville hereby adopts the Town of Unionville social media and cell phone policy as attached hereto and made part hereof, and be it further resolved that the Town of Unionville social media and cell phone policy shall be incorporated into the Town of Unionville Employee Handbook and shall take effect upon adoption.
I'll second that.
So we'll need a roll call vote.
Okay.
Town board discussion? Roll call vote, Mary Lou?
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution amending town code entitled taxation. Karina, you want to read that?
Sure. Resolution amending Town Code entitled Taxation. Whereas a local law is being introduced to be known as Local Law Number 2 of 2016, entitled A Local Law of the Town of Unionville, Dutchess County, New York, to amend sections 196.1 and 196.9, Senior Citizens Exemption and Disabled Persons Exemption of the Unionville Town Code. Be it enacted by the Town Board of the Town of Unionville that the Town Code is amended to read as follows. Section 1, Section 196.1 of the Unionville Town Code is amended to add a new sentence reading as follows. In the event of the owner or all of the owners of the property which has received an exemption pursuant to Section 467 of the Real Property Tax Law and the preceding assessment roll, fail to file the application pursuant to Section 467 on or before taxable status date, such owner or owners may file the application executed as if such application had been filed before the taxable status date with the assessor on or before the date of the hearing of complaints. Section 2, Section 196.9 of the Unionville Town Code is amended to add a new subsection as follows. Disability payments of veterans under Title 38 U.S. Code are excluded from income calculations. Section 3, this local law shall be effected upon filing with the Secretary of State. Section 4, if any of this section of the local law shall be unconstitutional, invalid, or ineffective in whole or in part, such determination shall not be deemed to affect, impair, or invalidate the remainder of this law. Whereas the Town Board of Unionville, pursuant to the Municipal Home Rule law of the State of New York, it will be necessary to hold a public hearing upon this law. Now, therefore resolved that a public hearing will be held in relation to proposed changes as set forth in the form of notice, hereinafter provided that each hearing parties in interest and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard, to be held at the Unionville Town Hall on September 15th, 2016 at 7:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as public comment can be heard, and that notice of said meeting shall be published in the official newspaper of the general circulation in the Town of Unionville by the Town Clerk at least 5 days before such hearing on the proposed local law. Take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Unionville will hold a public hearing at the Town Hall, New York on September 15th, 2016 at 7:00 on Local Law 2 of the year 2016 to amend Section 196.1 and Section 196.9 Senior Citizens Exemption and Disabled Persons Exemption of the Town of Unionville Town Code to extend the time for filing a senior citizens exemption and to exclude veterans' disability payments from income calculation. Take further notice that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law will be available for examination at the office of the clerk of the Town of Unionville at Town Hall, LaGrangeville, New York, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on all business days between the date of this notice and the date of the public hearing. Take further notice that all persons interested in citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard on said proposal at the time and place aforesaid.
Can I make a suggestion, just this one line here about the hours for Town Hall? Did it say all Town Hall business days?
Yeah, Monday through Thursday,
Right.
on all business days. All of our business days. Yeah, we can make a friendly
Yeah, I mean,
amendment to say Monday through Thursday.
Correct.
Okay. I'll second that. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.,
So
right?
we gotta have a vote on the amendment.
Yes. Who seconded it?
Patty?
I did.
Okay. Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
Councilman Frazier.
Aye,
And that was just on the amendment.
that's the amendment. Now we vote on the
Now
resolution.
we vote on the public hearing resolution.
And I'll second that.
Town board discussion?
I think it's a great law. I hope everyone supports it because the people that are gonna benefit are the people that really need some help. And I hope we publicize it well once we do pass it because people need to know about it.
Roll call vote, Mary Lou?
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
Okay, resolution regarding ground mount solar panels. Dave, you want to read that one?
The following resolution setting public hearing on proposed adoption of Chapter 210 Solar Panel Law. Whereas the town of Unionville has determined that it is in the public interest to provide for and encourage renewable energy systems and a sustainable quality of life, it desires to facilitate the development and operation of renewable energy systems based on sunlight. Solar energy systems are appropriate in all zoning districts when measures are taken as provided in this proposed local law to minimize adverse impacts on neighboring properties and to protect public health, safety, and welfare. Now therefore resolved that the town of Unionville, the town board hereby schedules a public hearing in relation to the proposed adoption of Chapter 210, at which hearing all parties in interest and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard, to be held at the Unionville Town Hall on September 15th, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. or as soon thereafter as public comment can be heard, and that notice of said meeting shall be published in the official newspaper of the general circulation in the town of Unionville by the town clerk at least 5 days before such hearing on proposed law. Notice of public hearing. Notice that the town board of the town of Unionville will hold a public hearing at the town hall, New York, on September 15th, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. on local law number, we didn't
That
put
would
that
be
down
3,
yet.
right?
Local law 2.
It'll be local
It
law
would be
2?
3. I thought 2 was.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
2 was
2
the
is
last.
the
taxation was
2
2.
was the taxation one.
This will be 3.
This will be 3.
local law 3 of the year 2016 to adopt Chapter 210 entitled Solar Panel Law. Take further notice that the aforesaid proposed local law will be available for examination at the office of the town clerk of Unionville at the town hall, LaGrangeville, New York, between the hours of 8:30.
10.
No, 10 and
10 a.m.
I've already changed that on
All right.
Yeah, on all business.
Monday through Thursday.
Monday
10
through
a.m.
Thursday.
on Monday through Thursday. Between the day of this notice and the public hearing. Take further notice that all persons interested and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard and on said proposal at the time and place aforesaid.
Okay,
Who's second that?
I'll second it. With those changes.
Yeah.
Town board discussion? Mary Lou, roll call vote?
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman Morris,
Aye.
Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
This one's number 4.
Yeah. Already done.
Okay, I guess this one's mine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution setting public hearings on proposed adoption of Chapter 140 illegal discharges to stormwater and Chapter 190 stormwater management and erosion and sediment control law. Whereas 2 local laws are being introduced for the purpose of addressing the town of Unionvale's designation as an MS4 community, whereby it is required to implement upon its citizenry measures to prevent illegal discharges to the municipal separate stormwater systems and to implement additional controls to manage stormwater and prevent erosion and sediment control from land disturbance activities. Now therefore resolved that the town board hereby schedules a public hearing in relation to the proposed adoption of Chapter 140 and Chapter 190, at which hearing all parties in interest and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard, to be held at Unionvale Town Hall on September 15th, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. or as soon thereafter as public comment can be heard, and that notice of said meeting shall be published in the official newspaper of the general circulation in the town of Unionvale by the town clerk at least 5 days before such hearing on the proposed law. Take notice that the Town Board of Town in Unionvale will hold a public hearing at Town Hall, New York, on September 15th, 2016 at 7 o'clock p.m. on local law number 4 of the year 2016 to adopt Chapter 140 entitled Illegal Discharges to Stormwater. Take further notice that copies of the aforesaid proposed local law will be available for examination at the office of the Clerk of Town of Unionvale at the Town Hall, LaGrangeville, New York, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, between the date of this notice and the date of the public hearing. Take further notice that all persons interested and citizens shall have an opportunity to be heard on said proposal and at the time and the place aforesaid.
I'll second.
Town board discussion? Roll call vote?
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
and Councilman Frazier.
I didn't realize there was a second page
There's a
to
second
this.
page to this.
Oh,
Oh, that was just reading the public notice.
yeah, it's part of
Okay.
I think we've heard it all.
Yeah.
pretty much
No
the
offense,
same.
Steve, yeah.
Pretty much the
That's
same.
fine with me, believe
3
me.
in a row.
We're
Okay.
putting people at home to sleep.
I'm sure.
Okay, resolution appointing recreation director. Whereas the town of Unionvale Recreation Director has resigned, and whereas the town of Unionvale desires to appoint a new recreation director, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Unionvale hereby appoints Jessica Dickinson to the position of the town of Unionvale Recreation Director for the town of Unionvale on a provisional basis with a 6-month probationary period, and therefore be it resolved that the pay for this position shall be at the rate of $23 per hour, not to exceed 80 hours per pay period.
I will second that motion.
J.W.
Town board discussion? We don't have to do a roll call vote.
I don't know, it's a resolution.
We'll do a roll call vote, Mary Lou.
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
and Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
Back to you, John.
Okay. Resolution appointing head groundskeeper. Whereas the town of Unionvale Park and Recreation Director has resigned, and whereas the town of Unionvale desires to appoint a head groundskeeper to be in charge of the maintenance and upkeep of the park and facilities. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Unionvale hereby appoints Jake Gosnell to the position of head groundskeeper for the town of Unionvale on a provisional basis with a 6 months probationary period. Be it further resolved that the pay for the position shall be at a rate of $23 per hour, not to exceed 80 hours per pay period.
I'll second.
Town board discussion?
I'd just like to mention, this gentleman's been working for us for, I think, a year and a half. He's been doing a great job. He's really stepped up to meet our needs, and I think he's very competent, and I think we're getting excellent results with his efforts. I'm very pleased to, and we're able to read the resolution.
And John and I have been working pretty closely with both of them down there. And things are really coming
Yes.
along nicely.
Very nicely.
Roll call vote?
Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
Councilwoman Kelly,
Aye.
Councilman McMorris,
Aye.
Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
Okay, public comments on non-agenda items?
When are you gonna have these, budget meetings?
Oh, the ones that are open to the public, the budget hearings? Probably October.
Can't wait, huh?
I can stay awake, John.
We got a lot of work to do yet.
Mm-hmm.
Any other town board comment?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that John Welch be appointed as liaison to the Library Steering Committee.
In correction, you'd have to make your first motion to remove me.
Okay, then I will make the motion that we replace Karina with John Welch as liaison to the Library Steering Committee.
I'll second that.
Town board discussion?
So while it is the prerogative of the town board to replace anyone at any time, the town board was already aware of what I was going to read, so I'm reading it for the community. The Library Steering Advisory Committee has been the most covert, open meeting I've ever experienced. The subcommittee members were decided outside of the meetings without committee approval. The committee chairperson inserted herself into select subcommittees without committee approval. Committee chairperson told the entire committee to keep quiet, and the committee members were advised not to speak outside the meetings. The only exception was to town board members, and only if they asked. I was also held to the confidentiality agreement and told not to speak to town board members until the committee was ready. I found out that the committee chairperson had private meetings with select town board members without the knowledge of the Library Steering Advisory Committee or myself. The committee chair on more than one occasion encouraged me to not attend steering committee meetings. The committee chairperson misrepresented a meeting that was arranged with the Millbrook Library Board without prior knowledge of the Library Steering Advisory Committee. When confronted, the committee chairperson refused to have an email read at the steering committee meeting, which clearly stated the details of the meeting with the Millbrook Library Board. The committee chairperson has unilaterally decided to suspend all activities of the Library Steering Advisory Committee without prior approval of the committee or of the town board. The suspension of the committee's activities is beyond the scope of the committee chairperson. I do apologize to the town residents that I did not insist on posting all agendas, documents, and minutes of the Library Steering Advisory Committee on the town website, because in a transparent government, an open meeting standard is the standard to be followed in all public meetings. I also regret not reporting monthly on the committee's activities at the town board meetings during the reports of department and committees. So I apologize to the town.
I'd like to state that I don't hold that same opinion that was just read.
Would anyone like to say anything?
Are we allowed to say something?
You're the chairperson.
Sure. I wasn't expecting to say anything, but I can tell you that the Library Steering Committee is comprised of residents of this town, all of whom have been working very hard as quickly as possible to try to get the report that we owe the town board, which is just simply an advisory. We're doing research and we're turning over every little possible stone that we can in order to come up with good ideas for the town board to evaluate. It has been somewhat difficult, and I hesitate to say some of these things publicly, but I will say, and I'm not the only person of this opinion, that Corinna Kelly, Councilwoman Kelly, has been quite the obstructionist. She has been overbearing. She has tried to keep the committee from moving in certain directions. She has misrepresented some things on occasion, most of which that she just wrote, most of that I can tell you is not true. And I have received a couple of false statements from Ms. Kelly myself, which made me very uncomfortable. I think the only thing that the town should recognize is that it's only an advisory committee. We have no power. All we're doing, we're just a group of people who are working really hard to come up with some ideas for you. You guys have the power. So all of the fighting and arguing and roadblocking that we have received by Ms. Kelly and working on this committee, to me, is a waste of our time, because she can have those arguments with you guys later when we give you our presentation. It's not up to us to make a decision. We're doing a lot of homework. We'll give you a presentation. We could have a majority presentation. We might have a minority presentation. We'll work it out. But we will come to you with what I think some hard work it'll at the end will represent good conclusions and things at least that you can analyze. But the fight is not with us. We're just volunteers. If you want to fight it out, I think you guys, Ms. Kelly can fight it out with anybody she wants to, and later on. But right now, we just want to get our work done. We want to present you with some viable solutions. We did suspend the meeting after the last because Ms. Kelly sent a letter out to 66 to Tom Sloan at the Mid-Hudson Library System and 66 affiliate libraries that was not authorized, and I'm assuming by you.
In fact, was discouraged by the town board.
Okay, so if you had had previous discussions that we weren't privy to that discouraged Ms. Kelly from doing things like that, and then she did it without discussing that with us and making it look as if everybody on the town board was behind her, I, at that point, said, we're not getting the support of Ms. Kelly, certainly, and we had to find out whether or not we had your support. So we suspended the action committee and the liaison without forwarding it to the whole committee, or certainly not to the chairperson, so I could have shared it with everybody. There's been some strange things happening, and I don't understand why people are trying to put roadblocks in front of us. Just let us get our report out. We will give it to you, and then you guys can arm wrestle over every little point of it, things that you don't agree with, things that you don't want. You can disregard the whole thing. It's your prerogative. But we just want to get our work done. We've got a couple of meetings left. It's really, again, an advisory committee. I think we should all thank everybody on this committee because they've worked so hard, myself included. I know that Ms. Kelly certainly attends the meetings. Other than talking to Tom Sloan on occasion, I haven't seen one representation of any work that Ms. Kelly has actually done on the committee, other than give us a hard time. And I hate to say that publicly, but it has been quite difficult, and it's been a challenge, and I'm sorry for that. So I think that this is a great move, if everybody, just to let us get finished, and then again, the ball will be in your court, and you guys can figure out what to do with our recommendations. And that's about all I have to say. The rest of it is, I don't think, relevant. Okay?
Anyone else?
Steve Frazier made a comment that I was discouraged from sending a letter. When was I directly told to not send a letter?
I don't think you were discouraged. We didn't know.
Well, we had a discussion, and I'm not really comfortable speaking about this here because it was a discussion in executive session where all the same points that you put in the letter that you sent out were brought up, and it was the consensus of all the other board members that it was not an issue. And then a few days later, you send this letter out as deputy supervisor that touched on all the same points that we had all agreed, the rest of us had all agreed were not an issue. So to me, we discouraged you from sending that out, yes. I mean, it should be, that it progresses to that point. I think anybody else would have understood the rest of the board's position coming out of that meeting.
So were all the points...
I'm not going to argue with you here about it. I've made a motion. I've said all I'm going to say on the topic.
Okay.
I think that it would be the best for the library steering committee and Corinna Kelly as well to put somebody else in as liaison. I don't feel that people are getting along. They have a little bit of work left to do. Just finish the work and get the stuff back to us. So,
I agree. I think we have a lot of other things that we have to be talking about, not just the library committee. And from what I could see, I attended one of their meetings. They seem to be moving along very quickly, rapidly in a good direction, a positive direction. They're getting together a lot of information for us. And then the meeting fell apart towards the end of it, but I agree.
so we're gonna take a roll call vote, Mary Lou, on
Replacing John Welch.
replacing Karina with
And
John
who
Welch.
seconded that? Steve made the motion.
Dave.
Dave.
Okay. Supervisor Tompkins,
Aye.
Councilman Welch,
Aye.
I don't know that you can vote.
I decline voting.
I don't
Can't
know
I
that
vote?
either one of yous can vote.
Why?
Because this is
Pertains
about
to
you.
you.
It pertains to you.
It pertains to the library committee and the
Yeah.
town board.
I don't have a
see
problem
any- I
with
don't
the
have
two of
any
them
problem
voting.
with that.
Well, all right, if you think I shouldn't, I won't.
all right, well then, Councilman McMorris
Aye.
and Councilman Frazier.
Aye.
Okay, we should now go into executive session to discuss
Legal matters.
legal matters.
All right, can I bring up one thing before we do?
Sure.
Steve, your comment about part-time employees and salary, I looked up in our handbook. It says, part-time employees hired to work fewer than 40 hours per week.
No, it was the
He meant
seasonal.
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 Oh, seasonal.
Yeah,
Seasonal employees, employees hired for seasonal duties and responsibilities whose services are required for no more than 7 months in any calendar year and whose compensation is determined on a contract basis for the duration of the season do not qualify for overtime payment.
I think that anyone, and I believe, I'm not a lawyer, an attorney,
Yeah,
Oh,
but I believe that state law or labor law is anything over 40 hours, regardless of who it is.
well, that's true, but if you have a contract, you may have it in there what the overtime would be or whether they would be allowed overtime.
Right.
I just wanted
Yeah.
them to take a look at it and see if it matches
Okay.
our labor laws.
okay. Somebody want a second going
I'll
into?
second the
Oh,
motion
yeah.
to go to executive.
Okay,
Make a motion, we come out of. executive
motion to
session.
come out of executive session.
So moved.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we made a decision to proceed with legal matters. The next meeting is September 15th, 2016 at 7 PM. Are there any other town board comments? Okay, I make a
We
motion.
adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.